Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
And welcome back. It's time for our News Blitz, joined by Joe Biggs here in studio. Now, Joe, let's start with something that's very important. We've heard a lot of talk about the 28 pages Saudi Arabian connection to 9/11, and now we see this. Senate passes bill allowing 9/11 victims to sue Saudi Arabia. And this will work by Senator John Cornyn and also Chucky Schumer, doing something good for a change. Or are they doing something good for a change? Talking with leadership in both parties to get an expedited vote on the House bill. So we know this is a big deal. You know, everybody wants the 28 pages to be released. They even talk about it on 60 Minutes now. Do you think that this House bill by Schumer and Cornyn could be something potentially useful for the American people?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen what's in the 28 pages yet. So, I mean, I don't even know who's to fully blame. You know, there's rumors circulating around and, by government officials now that have supposedly read it saying that there's a Saudi connection. But, I mean, there could be other people as well.
Yes.
Why are they so eager to just jump to allow people to say, all right, you could go ahead and sue Saudi Arabia? I want to find out who else is involved. And I believe there could be more people than just Saudi Arabia involved as well. So I think, let's see how it folds out. We've still got some time to figure out what's in the 28 pages. And then from there, I think we can maybe better assess the situation and maybe revamp this a little bit.
Yeah, so find out officially what's in the 28 pages before we jump to any conclusion. That's a very good point. What do you have there?
Article up right now by Steve Watson. Trump to meet with Kissinger for foreign policy advice. The Washington Post reports that presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump is to meet with Bilderberg kingpin Henry Kissinger this week in order to tap his expertise on foreign policy. Now, we do know that back in 2008, Sarah Palin actually had a lengthy meeting with Henry Kissinger. What do you think about this?
Well, she's been criticized, talking about she being Hillary, has been criticized for meeting with Kissinger by Bernie Sanders, I believe, in the debates. And we know that Kissinger has been tried as a war criminal, not so much here in the States, but in other parts of the world. People say he has a lot of blood on his hands. So he is a controversial figure. I mean, even bad people, you can glean something from them. I definitely wouldn't consider him to be one of my buddies, but he may even be able to tell you something what not to do. So I have mixed feelings about it.
I mean, I don't know. Like today, even, Alex came out and said that he's going to hold Trump's feet to the fire if he starts to go away from what he was saying he was going to do. I mean, meeting with people like this, I mean, yeah, it's okay to meet with people like this, but at the end of the day, hopefully he's not really taking a lot of advice and getting too deep in bed with him,
I would agree with that.
Gingrich or whatever like that. There's a lot of weird meetings that are happening with the Trump administration, so to say, right now.
Yeah, you can hear what the guy had to say, but yeah, I wouldn't take too much advice from a guy like Henry Kissinger. Let's talk about something else. Now, this is a young man that I actually had a chance to meet. Well, I shouldn't say young man. I'm only 3 years older than he is, but he came to Austin a few months ago, and he's a gentleman who has a prosthetic arm. He lost his arm in a freak accident with a train. And now he has a pretty advanced cybernetic arm. He's actually made drugs now because of this. And it shows advances in technology and these type of things. But the thing I want to point out to people who want to identify, I guess, as being disabled, he says, yes, I have an advanced cybernetic arm, but he would much prefer to have his real arm. I'm sure a similar thing for people in the military. They're very happy that there are advances in technology, but they'd much rather have a fully functioning body than as opposed to this technology.
I mean, that's part of your body. That's something that you've had, and it's something that people should want to have. I mean, yeah, it's great to have that technology, but, we've already seen that. There was episodes in Nip Tuck where some guy had his legs chopped off or whatever because he wanted to be disabled or whatever they call it. I mean, it's great to have the technology, but you should definitely want to do as much as you can to keep what you have.
Yeah, and I talked to the guy. You guys can go watch the interview. He said, yeah, it's great, but I'd much prefer to have my own body. So keep that in mind before you do anything drastic. Joe?
Well, let's take a look at socialism right now. It's back in the news. An article up by Kit Daniels, Socialism. Bernie Sanders' wife bankrupts college, forcing its closure.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Burlington College, which took on heavy debt during the tenure of Bernie Sanders' wife, is closing down. The closure of the liberal arts college in Vermont was blamed directly on Jane Sanders, who bankrupted the school as president from 2004 to 2011.
Well,
so it took her a number of years to do it. That's what I'm afraid of, that Bernie could, in a number of years, destroy everything that men and women have fought and died for this country.
Well, they say the problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. And as I believe you're with me on that man on the street, I was talking out to those guys on the street. I think we're down on South Congress. And I was like, does it concern you at all that Sanders is a self-proclaimed democratic socialist? And he says, socialism is just a scary word for helping people. in a very vague sense.
Well, I say we get some money together, we rent a helicopter or a plane, and we drop those guys off in Venezuela and see how helping is.
Yeah, people don't understand, and I talk about this a lot, for all you college-age kids, and once again, if I was 18 years old, I'd probably be drinking the Sanders Kool-Aid too, so I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that you guys have to understand that free money isn't free. Somebody has to pay for this, and let's say you do go through the ringers, and one day you're the big successful 1%er one day, they're gonna be coming to take all this money out of your pocket too. And I know that seems a million miles away, but it could happen. Now let's talk about something that's not a million miles away, the issue of drones, personal drones. And we've seen the FAA, they want to regulate the drones, do various things, say whether you can use these for commercial or private practices. And now they're actually developing something called the drone zapper, affectionately referred to, which they're using at the Pentagon, Homeland Security. They're developing this to pretty much shoot drones out of the sky if they come on your property.
Well, can I get a drone zapper to shoot their drones out of the sky when they come hovering over my house? That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I think we could get one for the Predator drones, and you see one of these things coming because they're not the surgical tools that they want you to believe. Yeah, they'll show you them blowing up some insurgents or whatever, but there have been multiple times they've targeted innocent civilians.
It's ridiculous. Come on, it's a drone, man. Half of these things people are doing for fun. It's fun to go out. It's awesome in our line of work to use it as a way to be able to get epic footage, to make awesome videos with. I mean, and it's just they're just always trying to get their fingers into more stuff to get more money from you. You know, ever since that happened, like there's a fine now. I remember Christmas time came around, and one of the hottest items on people's wish list for Christmas were buying these little drones from, you know, like Hobbytown or Hobby Lobby. And they're talking about if you don't register in a certain amount of time that, you know, the parents are going to get, you know, fined all this money. It's completely and totally ridiculous.
Yes.
Well, you know, let's talk about something that's near and dear to all of us, and that would be the Second Amendment.
Yes.
Hillary Clinton vows new gun grab and secret recording. The Supreme Court is wrong on the Second Amendment. Once again, Hillary Clinton just saying some of the most vile, un-American things ever. We have a Second Amendment.
It's very common when you see Democrats, because even if you go back to candidate Obama, they had those secret recordings of him saying that these bitter clingers are clinging to their guns, and then he comes out and makes a joke about it. These guys are very anti-Second Amendment. You know, they'll show you a puff piece every now and then. He's out there shooting skeet or whatever. But if you guys recall, back after Sandy Hook, and he had the whole thing going on with Dianne Feinstein, and I'll try to have this conversation with people. I'm saying, Obama is hiding behind Dianne Feinstein, prepared to do whatever she wants to do. And as we all know, Dianne Feinstein, we've seen the clips. If she could ban every gun in the United States of America, she would do it, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn it all in. So this is the person that he put in charge to ban the firearms after Sandy Hook. And there are things on that list, Joe, AK-47 semi-automatic, AR-15, some things as simple as a pump-action firearm, pump-action shotgun. Is this the person that you want leading in Dianne Feinstein?
Yeah, I don't know. Here's my thing. I've got my own little theory, so to say, with this whole thing.
Sure.
I feel like the Democrats are the silent partners of the gun industry.
I think that too.
I think they're the silent partners. The Republicans are
really
the monsters, the face of it. They take all the blame. But the Republicans, I mean, the Democrats are the ones that come out and they look on TV, and you got Feinstein or Clinton or Obama or whatever, Eric Holder, we're going to come take your guns. What happens?
People go buy guns.
Boom, gun industry explodes.
I think that
I guarantee you, they've got money in the game. They've got skin in the game, and they don't mind. And the Republicans are the face. They're the bad guys. They're the NRA. They take the downfall. Meanwhile, murder rates in Chicago, LA, and Dallas, Vegas, and other places skyrocket. And most of these places are in Democrat-run states that have
strict gun control.
The strictest gun control. Hard to get guns. You can't go out and get one to defend yourself, but the criminals get them because they don't abide by the laws anyways. And I guarantee you, not one of those people out there shooting are a registered NRA member.
Absolutely not, because we see it's like every 4th of July weekend, massive numbers of people getting shot in the city of Chicago. And they say, well, they have guns in Chicago because they take them from other places. Okay, so the other places these guns come from, do they have crime rates similar to what they have in Chicago? And the answer is no. You have these gun-free zones, for lack of a better term, where the criminals do not abide by the law. Just like you said, these guys are not registered to the NRA. They're not concealed carriers. They're not with the gun owners of America. They're criminals out here doing criminal things.
I mean, regardless, guns are in existence, and we can't get rid of them. Criminals are going to get them. All we're doing is screwing over good, hardworking American people that want to protect themselves and their families.
Absolutely, and that's why we have a Second Amendment, and that's why you had to continue to fight for your Second Amendment. I do think there is something to that argument that maybe there is something with these guys who want to ban all the guns. I think that sometimes as well. All right, thank you so much, Joe Biggs. Well, that's it for our show. I'm Jakari Jackson from the Infowars Command Center, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.
Get Brain Force at 25% off for a limited time at InfowarsLife.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
One of the worst things with most energy products is it's not sustainable, right? You're gonna crash afterwards. And the cool thing about this is it's not just a bunch of energy compounds that are gonna fire your brain up to a higher RPM or whatever, which it does do. This is sustainable. This isn't going to spike and you're gonna collapse and you're gonna feel really bad afterwards. This has a bunch of different antioxidants and compounds and polyphenols.
Everybody's on these drugs to knock their brain out because the brain's so fried.
We're looking at the television screen for research purposes or whatever we've been doing, trying to learn something, or staring at the computer all day, working, doing good. You're still damaging your brain.
You will find Brain Force and other game-changing products at InfowarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Get Brain Force at 25% off for a limited time at InfowarsLife.com. And we thank you for your support.